I need to talk about Michael Urie and Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, we do.
And Marc and Wilhelmina. Because they're, and correct me if I'm wrong, V, but you, like, the character of Marc was not meant to only be Urie the entire time. And that when, as soon as it like hit and your chemistry kind of hit in the way that it did, which seemed automatic, which I think that the two of you have spoken about myriad times, that you were like, oh no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. How did that go down exactly?
Well, in theory, Wilhelmina was supposed to fire somebody every episode. So they would be an assistant and they get fired and you have somebody new. So we were doing the pilot and we did the scene in my white leather chaise lounge and asking for a Botox.
Yes.
And Michael comes in with a needle and he's like, oh my God, is there a way that if I give you and I have some little left over, I do one of my eyebrows and leave the other eyebrow up. So he already was like scheming, like, wouldn't it be hilarious? I'm like, that's genius. And then I found out that he went to Juilliard. I'm like, this guy's brilliant. And we just had immediate chemistry. And obviously I respected his, Juilliard is amazing.
Right.
And
his art, his
education, but also his like, let's go for it. And that's what, again, our cast, we were always like, let's try this. Let's bounce this off each other and work. And then, so that was hilarious. Like, oh my God, he's really funny. And then when I walk into the big conference scene and he's following me and I sit down and slink into my chair and I see out of my peripheral vision, he slinks down the exact same way, exact same tempo. I'm like, okay, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I called out they were calling you for Marc, and he was like, so all that stuff came in the pilot.
I can't even tell you how much I say to Marc on a daily. I'm hilariously upset, Marc.
Yes.
I'm hilariously upset, Marc.
I was literally about to bring that up. I feel like, we talk so much about those. We talk so much though about like those one-liners and just kind of those buttons and stuff. And I think that in the Halloween episode, when Marc dresses up as Betty and Wilhelmina walks in and she's like, Marc, what does she say?
She said, I've never, something to the effect of like, I've never seen anything so cruel. Someone's getting a raise.
And I was gagged because it's also it just reminded me so much too. Like watching the show too reminds me of how much fun we had making the show.
Yeah.
As someone that has never seen it like on screen before, but was there is something that just is so like palpable about watching it being like, oh, these people are having a good time.
Because it was all happening in the moment. But the chemistry that you had with Marc, you also surprisingly had that with America. I mean, we just watched Trust, Lust, and Must.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have a bunch of scenes. This is when Salma first comes in and Betty tells you that she's having the trouble with Ignacio and how she needs money. And you have the scene where you like offer her the $20,000 and you giving her this and no strings attached, but there was such chemistry between you and America that was natural and amazing as well. Like you just, whatever scene partner you were given. And I think that holds true for any, but we're talking to you. So, but I think, it was just so incredible to watch, like you sort of go to that vulnerable space, because this is also where Nico was sort of like Nico 1, as Marc likes to call her.
Oh yeah, I call her Nico 1.
Nico 1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was like, who's that?
Marc is such a bitch. So Nico 1, look,
excuse your mouth.
20 years later, we can talk about it. We can be real. when Nico won, but you have, that's the thing is like you had that chemistry also because you bully America, but you're also really Betty, I should say, not America, but because you had that chemistry with her as well, and it was just so incredible to watch. What did that feel like on set?
I think, yes, we are and we're all talented, but it was almost like doing a play where you're at a stage and you're really free. That's why I love doing theater, because you've got the whole stage to make it different and make it new every night, every performance week, because you're in charge of your own. And there was a freedom that we had when we shot Ugly Betty, even though we had guest directors. We still had the freedom to kind of make it our own.
That's right.
And have our own relationships. And so it wasn't a film and people were like, do it again, try to like that. And so there was a freedom that we had that I think made it all so genuine and like almost improv, even though we had scripted words. So the trust that we had back and forth and the respect made us a different unit.
Yeah.
It was almost like a show. I mean, it was like doing a theater production every week. Like, what are we doing this week? And so that really, I think that those dynamics gives you the ease and trust to trust your other partner.
Yeah. And that kept
America.
That kept the energy up too.
Yeah, we've all had theater backgrounds. So
that's true. We all did.
We all did.
I also forget about that. I mean, most of us were sort of New York theater actors.